bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
This is Rick Heyman with Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Sartor Heyman is celebrating 120 years, and you could win big. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for your chance to win a $120 gift certificate every week. That's right, we're giving away $120 every week as a thank you for being part of our story. Don't miss your chance to treat yourself. Follow Sartor Heyman Jewelers today. Celebrating 120 years. Sartor Heyman, when only the best will do.
Are you tired of your usual barbershop experience? Stop into Scissors and Scotch today. I know what you're thinking. Drink during a haircut? Don't worry. First comes the precision cut from one of their experienced barbers, followed by your complimentary cocktail in their upscale lounge. Scissors and Scotch blends your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. And now you can earn $10 off by simply mentioning the ticket. And if you're an existing member, still mention the ticket for an exclusive offer. Offer valid at Lincoln location only. Scissors and Scotch, located just south of 30th and Yankee Hill, and online at lincoln.scissorscotch.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
From the capital to castles, starting this December, fly nonstop from Lincoln to Orlando with service from Breeze Airways. That's right, nonstop flights to Orlando out of LNK are starting this December. You're now just a flight away from Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, and the Space Coast. Stretch out and relax on Breeze with complimentary family seating. Book your magical getaway now at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top-quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevenson Smith Construction slams expectations.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Derek Pearson, brought to you by Canopy Street Market.
Boom! We are here on one-on-one on 93.7 The Ticket. That's a little bit of a different boom maybe than you're used to. DP out of town this week, a little bit busy. He was going to stream in, but he's got some family things going on, so we don't want to tear DP away from his family. We'll just jump in and do some radio by ourselves. I'm Jake Bachman, Austin Orman jumping in studio with me, and we've got plenty to talk about. Of course, getting ahead of that Nebraska-Maryland game that everybody's looking forward to, which we can dive into a little bit further. Jeff Sims, former Husker quarterback, going to start this week. Of course, the Eagles lost, so the fire Nick Sirianni chants are already going on. No, I think anytime you lose 2 games in a row with the Eagles, they want to fire him. And Savannah Bananas are heading to Lincoln. So a lot to really break down here. But it's a Friday, Austin. How are we feeling? People ask, of course, all week. I don't know if it changes. Does it change throughout the week? You feeling more or less confident than you did on Monday about Nebraska's chances to get Maryland?
Here's the thing. This is going to be probably the worst take everyone hears all week, but this is like the second time I've thought about Nebraska-Maryland all week. I am in college basketball mode.
Sure.
I have been in college basketball mode. That was what Monday and Tuesday were about. We was prepping for Big Ten Media Days, where, funny enough, I'm standing there listening to Dusty May at his little podium, and who walks over and stands next to me for like 5 minutes but Buzz Williams.
Oh, nice.
New Maryland head basketball coach.
Yeah.
So Nick and I talked a little Nebraska-Maryland on the drive home last night, but I don't know if I'm more or less confident. I just haven't given this game, more than a handful of thoughts. I'll tell you, on the surface, it seems like a good matchup for Nebraska, a better matchup. I mean, Washington's a baller. They got some playmakers out wide, but I think it matches up pretty well with the strength of Nebraska's defense. Really, the question to me becomes, does Nebraska get in its head about the elements, and do they play a factor, right? The wind, we heard a lot about, Matt Rule tried to downplay it. Yeah, we got to keep it in mind, but it's all right. And then, the wind is a big deal. It affected how we called the game. Great. Okay, let's be honest about how we're approaching this. If the rain is a factor, obviously it's a factor for both teams. I still think Nebraska should find a way to win this game. But even if they don't, if you just zoom out and look a little bit bigger picture, as long as Nebraska goes 1-1 over the course of the next 7 days, because a week from today, they'll be in Minneapolis to take on Minnesota. As long as Nebraska goes 1-1, I still think you can say the season's on schedule.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's interesting even between those two teams, because I was thinking again, there's all different ways to kind of approach it. And one is trying to figure out how good Maryland is as a team. They win a lot of non-con games. That's not been their problem under Mike Locksley. And yeah, they beat Wisconsin, but there's a lot of teams that have been beating Wisconsin recently, as we know. So it's tough to tell if this Maryland team is for real. Have they taken a giant step forward? Are they ready to, bounce back from that 4-8 season? To a degree, already, again, ahead of schedule there. And Malik Washington looks good, but they're still a young team. So even between Minnesota and Maryland, it's tough to pick, like, which one would even look better if you did lose. I don't know. Both those teams are going to be kind of or in the middle like Nebraska is. But if you, again, like you said, take that step back and look at it as a whole, I don't know if those are their teams, maybe ceilings of or close to 8 wins, maybe. Maybe Nebraska's in that same category without rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I've held off on giving a season prediction record-wise. I've just tried to be more, this is what Nebraska can win with, this is what Nebraska could get beat by. But I think Nebraska has looked the way, a 4-1 team would look at this point, and not an elite 4-1 team, right? A kind of schedule-based 4-1 team where let's give them credit for beating Cincinnati the way they did in week 1 to find a way. And no, last Saturday's game against Michigan State was not perfect. But that, to me, Bach, is the difference between a 6-6 team last year and a team that has its sights on at least 8-4 this year, is finding a way to win that game. When you start off with a bang, then you go through a 40-minute lull is essentially what it was for Nebraska. And then, you finish with a pretty solid 10 minutes there at the end of the game, all things considered. So that a game like that, finding a way to win a game like that, finding a way to go on the road back-to-back weeks and at least get a split in the Big Ten, that's the margin between a 6-6 team last year and seeing if that 6-6 team has taken that step forward to that. Yeah, we can be an 8-4 and feel pretty good about ourselves, given what we had on the team, sort of team.
Now, we will jump back into Nebraska, Maryland. Obviously, plenty to talk about there, but I do want to get your thoughts on your media day trip there out to Chicago for men's and women's basketball. Mostly, I just want to know kind of what was the representation like out there. West Coast teams, all together. Was there a lot of media? At least, if there was it from the teams that you would expect there to be?
It definitely picked up on day 2. I'll say that. I was pretty proud of the ticket. I mean, we were like 40% of the Nebraska contingent out there between me and Nick. So it was really fantastic access. I want to really shout out Seamus and Jeff for getting us one-on-ones with all 4 players that went. We also got a one-on-one with Coach Hoiberg, all up on Ticket social media, 93.7 The Ticket on Twitter and Facebook. So definitely go check that out. But it wasn't packed. We had a harder time finding spots to sit yesterday than we did on Wednesday. But more than anything, it was just a blast, at least for me, just to walk around and listen to these coaches both days. I mean, primarily focused on, obviously, Amy Williams in Nebraska on Wednesday. Heard a little bit from Jan Jansen over at Iowa. Heard a little bit from USC and UCLA, bits and pieces. But really on Thursday, it worked out pretty well because Fred Hoiberg went in that 2 to 2:30 window, and obviously that's the headliner for us in Nebraska, so we were there listening to that. But before that, got a chance to listen to Ben McCollum and Darian DeVries, a couple new guys to the conference. Got a chance to listen to Dusty May, who drew a pretty big crowd, as did Darian DeVries, right? One of my favorite listens in college basketball is Matt Painter. I thought he was fascinating with a bunch of stuff he had to say. Caught a little bit of Tom Izzo's deal. What a fantastic experience. What a fantastic time to walk around, shake some hands, and, say hi, introduce myself to some people that, I know of in the college basketball sphere. But it was pretty good representation, I would say, from across the conference from start to finish. It's certainly not football media days, but it was solid. It was a really great experience.
Yeah, glad to hear that. Do you feel like Nebraska basketball team a little bit better? Because I think that's a big obstacle sometimes in getting people back into basketball action is sometimes you don't know half your team anymore. Everybody's transferring. People are sticking around for just 2 years. And certainly for this Nebraska basketball team, it's a little bit of welcome back Rick Mast, Coach Hoiberg's son still playing on the team, so people know him well, but not a whole lot of understanding of what this team is going to be. And I don't know if that's necessarily like you can look at the roster and kind of think, what their strengths and weaknesses are going to be. But we say this every year. Sometimes it's, the media trying to figure it out. Sometimes it's the fans. A lot of times the coach is trying to figure it out, and he'll be playing with different lineups early in the season. And you'll see different guys maybe play more minutes early than they do late.
Yeah. I know the names on Nebraska's roster just as well as I did going in, but still have no idea who Nebraska is going to start. Neither does Fred Hoiberg. He said he has a pretty good idea of who 3 starters will be a week from tomorrow in the scrimmage against BYU. And then there's a couple starting spots up for grabs. I can tell you that I do believe this will be a much more offensive-minded team for Nebraska, which comes with its own set of worries and concerns. I am not sold on the defense being great. It's just got to be good enough. And also, for those of you who listened or are going to find time at some point to listen, it's media days. Take it with a grain of salt. Of course, everyone's excited about their team. Of course, things are, we wish we were further ahead, but I like the work that we've put in. You're going to hear the same things all the time. So I don't think that this Nebraska men's basketball team is ahead of schedule from where Fred Hoiberg would want it to be. But I think that they're in a pretty solid spot for it being, early, mid-October, having just a few weeks of practice under their belt. I do think getting Rick Mast back, that's obviously the story for Nebraska. Big Ten Media Days is going to be big. Lots to sort out in the backcourt. A lot of interesting names. They're still getting 4 guys reps at point guard, which I'm really curious to see how that shakes out. But no, I think that, you'll see the poll come out and Nebraska's picked between 12th and 14th. And Get used to it. Expect it. I think that's a little low. I think that's more the bottom range of outcomes for this Nebraska team. But I do think that that's less of a slap in the face in Nebraska than it is a testament to the strength of the league. We got this from Gus Mohawk. Is there a clear front runner in Big Ten basketball this year? It's Purdue. Purdue brings everyone back. I mean, everyone. Preseason player of the year, Braden Smith, who's player of the year last year. Trey Kaufman-Renn, great pick and roll partner. Fletcher Lawyer ended up showing up, who's a role guy. You got Harris, you got Cox, you got some actual front court pieces. They had, their typical 7-footer, right?
Yeah.
The tall white kid, Daniel Jacobson, who played for Team USA, broke his foot or tore something in his leg last year and then is just now making his way back. Got one of the most productive mid-major transfers from South Dakota State, who should be a hand in glove fit. It's Purdue. I think Michigan's pretty close. They have their own kind of fit questions. I'm not fully sold on the roster construction, even if I like a lot of the individual pieces. Other teams in that conversation, UCLA finally got a guard and gotten Donovan Dent that's going to be really good for them. I really like Ohio State's talent. I really do not like their coach. I think that they made a little bit of a cop-out hire with Jake Diebler, who got a chance to hear from him. He was fine, middle of the road, whatever. But really, Nebraska's competition, I think, is going to be new look Iowa, Wisconsin as it continues its evolution. I really think Michigan State's in the same neighborhood as Nebraska. I mean, Tom Izzo is who he is, but I don't get that roster. I don't get that program. So really, I think if you're a Nebraska or a Nebraska fan, let me phrase, if you're a Nebraska fan, I would say your expectations or your hope should be that Nebraska is a top 8 team in the league. And it's going to be kind of the same way as football. You can probably bank on 6 or 7 losses in conference play just by nature of going on the road in the Big Ten, just by nature of shots won't fall one night, or you can't stop a nosebleed another night. You can probably count on 7 wins where you'll knock someone off at home. You have a couple road trips you think you can handle. And then really it's those middle 6 games in the 20-game conference schedule. If you can win 3 of them, okay, you're in good shot to be in the middle of the conference. If you win 4 of them, you're probably talking about a 7 or an 8 seed. Now, if you only win 1 or 2 of them, that's where you get your sights probably set on the crown again. So just like anything, I mean, you can bank a number of wins, you can bank a number of losses, at least at this point. What do you do in that middle section of games, which is not just the middle 6 games of the schedule? Where can Nebraska make runs? Can Nebraska get hot for 2-3 weeks at a time offensively and maybe surprise a couple teams? There's a stretch in December that I think is going to be really crucial for this team that's going to tell us a lot.
And it's definitely going to be interesting to see how this team kind of comes together. Again, all these different pieces that that just weren't here last year. But you look at last year's team, relied so much on Bryce Williams. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Throughout many portions, especially late in that season. Obviously, Juwan Gary as well off the team for Nebraska. It's interesting because last year, I think expectations were, because they made the NCAA tournament the previous year at whole, was to go back. You, interestingly, I know we talked about all last year, we kind of thought that was more of an NIT team than not. And it ended up being, crown NIT, whatever you want to put it. And Nebraska went out there and won the crown. So again, that was a fun time. Mm-hmm. What would your expectations for this team being, given that you kind of put them back middle, maybe kind of middle of the Big Ten? Would it still be NCAA tournament, or are you still kind of in the crown NIT realm?
I'll phrase it this way. I think that an NCAA tournament berth of any sort is like a 60th to 75th percentile outcome. And that's if you're talking, can Nebraska be like right on that bubble cut line and have enough good wins to flip over to in? Nebraska's 90th percentile outcome is probably 7 or an 8 seed if everything breaks right for them. They really capitalize. I think this team does have a relatively high floor, though. I really do. Again, it's going to look different, but Nebraska needs to make some sort of postseason. I think there are enough good pieces on the team that whether it's, the crown and getting a high seed, not that they really seed it, but kind of they do in the crown, that to me is going to be the bare minimum. If Nebraska just make the postseason again. Now, back-to-back crowns instead of finding a way to make it to the NCAA tournament would be slightly disappointing with an older roster, but that's the way Fred Hoiberg is building, right? It's not a lot of ceiling individually. I think this is a team where the parts, if Nebraska wants to make the NCAA tournament, are going to have to, or the sum is going to be, the whole is going to be greater than the sum of its parts. Let me get my words straight off the late flight last night. There doesn't seem to be that transcendent bailout type of bucket getter like Casey was at stretches. I don't think Jamarcus Lawrence can get to that level, but maybe he can be more consistent, maybe slightly less streaky. I think Rink Mast is going to be steady as she goes. I like Kendall Blue. I like Price Sanford. We'll see what Connor Sejan gives you. They're raving about Bear K again and his work in the offseason. So there are enough pieces there for Nebraska to be at least frisky, certainly interesting. And I think Nebraska can get any team in the conference on the right night. There'll be some bad matchups for them, absolutely. But there's no reason that this team can't be in the postseason for the third straight year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, how it all breaks down. Like you said, the head coach right now knows 3 starters, so it's pretty hard to kind of predict that on our own. And it's just going to be who fights out and gets those roles. There's a lot of guys I think coming in competing for similar spots, and that's the good thing about this team. And Fred Hoiberg's kind of got that going over the last couple of years where. There's guys that, preseason, you maybe have 12 guys that you think, well, they could figure out a role. And then you have to kind of just whittle that down. And then obviously throughout the season, maybe, there are going to be opportunities there. So, fascinating stuff. With everybody coming in, you mentioned Kendall Blue, Ugi, Jamarcus Lawrence coming back, all his seniors. So there's a lot of seniors in the rotation. Rink Mast, more than anything, I think is going to be fun to follow to see if he can, one, A, return to his former self, B, elevate from that, because I think a lot of people would say, he's one of the best players in the conference, when he's playing at his best, but that has always been with Bryce Williams on the floor, at least as far as Nebraska. Could he be the go-to, like you said, a bucket getter? I don't know if that necessarily fits his description. He's more of kind of steady throughout the game, continue to add, and his numbers will pile up. But they've got to find somebody to go to when the shot clock's winding down.
Absolutely, and I think that Nebraska's team approach will be kind of that by committee where you have 3, ideally for Nebraska 4, and maybe even 5 guys in double figures on any given night. Rink Mast does have that takeover ability. You think back to the game that Nebraska knocks off number 1 Purdue here in Pinnacle Bank Arena. Rink Mast took over that game in stretches, right? He was able to get the mismatch against Zach Edey, drive him from the perimeter, hit some shots. That's huge. Ohio State 2 years ago, huge game for Rink Mast. Took over some just ridiculous stuff that a 6'10" big man should not be doing on the perimeter, and he did it multiple times. He has that ability, but I don't think Nebraska would be maximizing him or the rest of the roster if Rink Mast is in the Bryce Williams range in terms of points per game. Which might sound funny to some people to hear that. But I think that even hearing from Rink yesterday, he prides himself on his ability to pass the basketball, get other people in positions to succeed. He knows he can score. He knows he can shoot it. If Rink Mast is averaging 18 points a game for Nebraska, either something went incredibly right offensively and they're averaging 84, 85 points per game, or something went incredibly wrong. And Nebraska's down at 64, 65, and they're putting that much on Rink Mast. I think if Nebraska's in that mid to upper 70s range, and I think they got to be pushing 80 for this team to hit its ceiling. But let's say they're in that mid to upper 70s range. I think Rink ends up at 13 to 15 points per game on a pretty consistent basis.
And then the other thing that Coach Hoiberg was talking about, and it's been kind of for the preseason going in, the roster management and construction, like you said, is more than often than not they're going to have 5 guys out there that can shoot the ball. So again, when you talk about maybe getting that bucket getter down the stretch, that's less of a concern when you've got shooters everywhere. So it's like, okay, we'll just rotate and eventually find a good shot. We'll see.
But where does that rotation come from? This is still the question. It's one thing to have good shooters, but Bach, you and I know this. We like to stand in the corner and wait for people to pass us the ball.
That's right.
The problem is it's pretty hard in college basketball just to go station to station around the perimeter and say, oh yeah, someone's going to get an open shot if all we do is make chest passes from side to side. That might work in middle school basketball sometimes, occasionally, if you're lucky. Where the shooting comes into play is Nebraska needs to start the season off pretty hot to pull those help defenders away from the rim, make their first reaction out, make them be aggressive in passing lanes. And then Nebraska's drivers, you're looking at Jamarcus Lawrence, you're looking at Kendall Blue, you're looking at Sam Hoiberg, Cale Jacobson if he cracks the rotation, Rink Mast in the right matchup. probably Braden Frager at this point as well, depending on how much he's in the rotation. Those guys are going to be the ones that need to put the most vertical pressure on the rim and then be able to make those kick out passes that lead to the extra passes for those shooters. If Nebraska is only going to shoot 34, 35% from three, I don't think that's going to be enough for this team to be consistent offensively. It's got to be, I think 37 is probably the baseline for this team to be successful, just to open up those driving lanes to get those shots. But again, I still think that Nebraska has got to be, probably pushing 39, 40% as a team, which is a high bar. But that's what you're trying to hang your hat on this year. You went all in that realm. So you got to find a way to make it work now.
Yeah. And there's been teams in Huskers past that dwindled down to the low 30s, around 30. That, especially for this team, as you're saying, the way that it's constructed, that's just not going to work. Nebraska will need to be shooting at a high percentage. And that's what I think too is going to be part of that. What you're talking about earlier, if you split the season in thirds, there's going to be times when when you rely on shooting and you don't shoot well, and they're not going to have probably enough defensive tenacity to kind of fall back on to see if they can get the win that way. Maybe they will. We'll see. Maybe they can find some lineups for that as well. There's also going to be nights when they're lighting it up. So hopefully Nebraska's got everything that they need to compete this year, and we will have to see. It was fun talking some Nebraska basketball with you, Austin, here in this first segment. We will continue to talk Nebraska. We might shift our focus a little bit into football, but also big night last night as the Giants beat the Eagles. Big for the Giants, and like I said, the Eagles they don't know how to handle losing 2 in a row. And of course, the Savannah Bananas coming to Nebraska Memorial Stadium June 13th. So we'll talk about that as well. Coming next year on 1-on-1 on 93.7 The Ticket.
From the capital to castles, starting this December, fly nonstop from Lincoln to Orlando with service from Breeze Airways. That's right, nonstop flights to Orlando out of LNK are starting this December. You're now just a flight away from Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, and the Space Coast. Stretch out and relax on Breeze with complimentary family seating. Book your magical getaway now at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has expanded strength equipment. We're raising the bar with these benches, and our hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all the best-in-class equipment we've always had. There's no better time to get stronger. Join the club today for $1 down, $15 a month, now through October 10th. Planet Fitness is proud to partner with Boys and Girls Clubs of America to create stronger, kinder communities. See Home Club for details.
Are you tired of your usual barbershop experience? Stop into Scissors and Scotch today. I know what you're thinking. Drink during a haircut? Don't worry. First comes the precision cut from one of their experienced barbers, followed by your complimentary cocktail in their upscale lounge. Scissors and Scotch blends your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. And now you can earn $10 off by simply mentioning the ticket. And if you're an existing member, still mention the ticket for an exclusive offer. Offer valid at Lincoln location only. Scissors and Scotch, located just south of 30th and Yankee Hill, and online at lincoln.scissorscotch.com.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden Baked Crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Advanced Medical Imaging is hosting their third annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk on October 11th at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Hear inspiring stories from survivors, enjoy local food truck vendors, a live DJ, and other family-friendly activities as we unite to bring awareness about breast cancer. Check-in begins at 8:30 a.m. with the walk starting at 9. Register your team today for Advanced Medical Imaging's third annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk online at amimaging.com. Let's walk for those we've lost, for those still fighting, and for a future without breast cancer.
This is Rick Heyman with Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Sartor Heyman is celebrating 120 years, and you could win big. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for your chance to win a $120 gift certificate every week. That's right, we're giving away $120 every week as a thank you for being part of our story. Don't miss your chance to treat yourself. Follow Sartor Heyman Jewelers today. Celebrating 120 years. Sartor Heyman, when only the best will do.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hey guys, it's Nick. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night as we bring you Bellevue West versus Lincoln Southwest, live from Seacrest Field with kickoff scheduled for 7 p.m. Lincoln Southwest has won 2 games in a row thanks to a convincing 35-13 win versus Lincoln Northeast last week, and they now get ready to face off against the Thunderbirds. Pre-game is slated for 6:45 p.m. with kickoff expected at 7 p.m., and you can hear all the action between Bellevue West and Lincoln Southwest unfold right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP, brought to you by Canopy Street Market on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here on One-on-One on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Jake Bachman, joined by Austin Orman, and now the Hall of Famer, Husker legend Terrell Farley as well. Terrell, how is it going today?
Pretty good there, Bach. Just normal day. Friday,
Yeah.
Good Sense Friday.
That's right.
Yeah, nothing like a Good Sense sandwich on your Friday.
Absolutely. And of course, we'll have Bach of the Black Shirt coming up here in a little bit, but we get a little preview of that and be able to join Austin in here as well. So I did want to get your guys' thoughts on an interesting outcome last night. I think a lot of people expected the Eagles to beat the Giants, as has been the case for the last couple of years. But instead, the Giants get a 34-17 win over the Eagles to snap the Giants' 8-game losing streak to the NFC East as a whole, and was their first win over a defending Super Bowl champion since beating the Denver Broncos in 1998. So very rare that the Giants would do that. In any case, they move up to 2-4. And this has been in the last couple of weeks following Jackson Dart, the new quarterback that's stepping in, as well as fellow rookie Cam Scatabo, who's been doing well. So Dart was 17 of 25 for 195 yards, also ran 13 times for 58 yards. Surprisingly, became just the third quarterback in the Super Bowl era to rush for at least 50 yards in each of his first 3 starts. That joins Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts. So pretty good pretty good folks to be around there. Giants went 3-14 last season. So now that they've got their second win here, we'll see what the young group can do. Eagles now 4-2, and a lot of people were on Saquon watch because he was only got 6 carries last year, only averaging about 3.5 yards per carry this season so far. Did a little bit better, but wasn't able to get too many carries here. 12 carries for 58 yards, but they utilized him a little bit more. Guys, are these young Giants for real?
Cam Scatabo. Scatabo is that guy. He's a good blocker, powerful runner. Jackson Dart. Got to be careful with Jackson Dart though, because I feel like if he's going to be targeting himself trying to be a running quarterback, and those guys hit hard in the NFL. I don't know if he's a runner like that or like Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts, but at the same time, he's got to be careful and watch himself.
I am less sold that the Giants are for real. I am much more concerned about the Eagles. I really am. First things first, I'll one up your rushing yard stat box. So yes, rushed for 50 yards in all 3 of his starts. Also completed 65% of his passes, had multiple touchdowns in all 3 games, and held a double-digit lead in all 3 games. It's not like they're winning close, some fluky finishes or some really clutch, late game stuff that you'd think would regress. No, the Giants are getting up big. The only other quarterback to do that 65% completion, multiple touchdowns, 50-plus yards rushing, and holding a double-digit lead at any point in 3 consecutive starts in a career was Lamar Jackson in his unanimous MVP season in 2019. That's what we're seeing from Jackson Dart. To your point on Saquon Barkley, though, this is why I'm concerned about the Eagles. A.J. Brown, non-factor. Devontae Smith, non-factor. You think about Saquon Barkley, he has yet to rush for 100 yards this year. Not a single 100-yard game. Through 6 games, the Eagles are -1 in point differential, tells you they should be about 500, which is where they are. They've been outgained in every single season. Defense is still good, maybe not the same elite edge it had last year. The offense has taken a massive step back. Got some stats from Sheil Kapadia here. I believe he's with the Ringer. In the second half of their last 3 games, the Eagles offense has had 19 possessions. Here's the 19 possessions. 2 touchdowns, 2 turnovers, 13 punts, and 2 drives at the end of the game with no result. How about this? The Eagles offense this year so far is below the league average in expected points added per drive, success rate, explosive plays, and rushing success rate from running backs. And you're only down 1 starter on offense. It's pretty much the same core you have last year that has taken a massive step back. It's warning signs in Philly right now.
They're 4-2. I think that's good enough. I mean, you still have a long season to go. They could turn it up a little bit. I think when you talk about Saquon Barkley, he's not even on pace right now to get 1,000 yards for the season. He's like 906 or something right there.
Which I agree. I mean, we've seen the Eagles turn it around before. I mean, Sirianni was on the hot seat a couple of years ago before this Eagles team really kicked into overdrive and went on the run we've seen for the last couple of years. But that's why I gave those numbers, Farley. It's because there's nothing telling you they're going to snap out of it. You're just banking on the talent.
It's just the way they perform. I mean, you still have a decent team enough to go out there and win the Super Bowl. You got a better chance of winning the NFC East by far if you just continue the things you do and take it the little steps to build your offense up every week, because your defense is going to be there to hold you back. So I think they're just exploring stuff right now. Like you said, A.J. Brown, no factor. Hope he still don't want to get traded out of commotion he done. The other tight end, the other receiver had almost 100 yards. I think he had 10 catches, 100 yards. I'm not sure, but it wasn't even the other. What's the other one name? Devontae Jones. It wasn't even him. Devontae Smith.
I know we went to Bama, but you got to put some respect on his name.
Yeah,
Come on now.
Yeah, the older I get, the more I mess up names. So you got to think about that part.
Yeah, he's been calling Emmett Johnson Emmett Smith for a few years.
Yeah.
Which is,
What's the
is nice.
difference?
Yeah.
What-
hard
Happy
to tell.
birthday, Emmett, by the way.
Is it Emmett's birthday?
Emmett's birthday per the football account.
Well, there we go. That's good to see. Good to hear. Hopefully he has a good game tomorrow as well. I did want to get your guys' thoughts as well as the Savannah Bananas heading to Lincoln, Nebraska. They'll play at Memorial Stadium June 13th in Haymarket Park June 11th. Of course, former Husker pitcher Kyle Perry, also former 93.7 The Ticket late night host, if you didn't know, is on the Bananas. So widely popular kind of craze going throughout the nation. But interestingly enough, there are some people that are not all that happy about maybe not the Bananas coming in, but when they're coming in. Austin, we were talking about this during the break. You're not a big fan of the date that was picked here.
I've carved out an entire segment of Old School for this, so I don't want to give away the game incredibly. I'm just a little bit worried about what this says about Nebraska's administration, because it falls on College World Series opening weekend. You have 2 dates. You have them on Thursday and then on Saturday. So you have them for opening ceremonies of the College World Series and then the first Saturday of the College World Series, or the second day of games in that second pool. Either you didn't know, you forgot, or you didn't care. There's just so much potential for this to go catastrophically wrong for the Nebraska athletic department. If this is the year that Will Bolt and his team put it all together and make the run to Omaha, even if you're not banking on that, why would you want to compete with something that you know is a crown jewel of the state for 2 weeks? Like, that's not a surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise. What were the logistics that you said, yeah, let's take over opening ceremonies on Thursday instead of moving the Bananas to Haymarket Park on Wednesday? You know, like, does that one day make such a big difference? And then to have a second one in Memorial Stadium, I get it. They're doing like a stadium campus tour, what have you, and playing in Memorial Stadium is a part of that. But they're not going to pack that place out for that. It's
Who's
not gonna
playing in the
happen.
Memorial Stadium?
The Bananas.
For real?
Yes.
Yeah.
They've
Banana ball, banana baseball.
Yeah.
I thought they was playing at Haymarket Park somewhere.
Well,
they
doing
will.
both. They're doing both.
They booked.
Yeah.
Both
Yeah,
of
which
them,
is why I don't I just, this whole thing blows my mind. And you can tell I'm kind of riled up about this. So that's coming up on Old School later too, because, oh my gosh, I don't understand.
Yeah, it does. It's not necessarily showing a whole lot of faith in your baseball program, like you said. At least to get to the College World Series. Now, that's, you know, every team wants to make it to the College World Series. Nebraska hasn't been since the mid 2000s. So I mean, it's, you know, they're probably betting correctly, but it just doesn't show a whole lot of faith from the very people that are, you know, whose baseball team it is. So it is interesting in that way. I'm also just intrigued to see kind of what the reaction will be here locally in just the fan attendance there. You would think one game at Memorial Stadium might be enough. You might even think one game at Haymarket Park be enough, but they're good enough to, I mean, they do draw quite a bit of people. So, you know, typically a lot bigger stadiums than Haymarket Park. So that's why they've kind of got that focus on Memorial Stadium there. Obviously, the logistics of putting a baseball stadium together there as well, or a baseball field, will be entertaining to kind of see how they play all that out. You know, and I'm fascinated by the whole thing. I love the fact that Nebraska, over the last couple of years, whether it be Garth Brooks concerts or volleyball day or anything, that I've understood, hey, we've got something here where we can really put on a show and get a lot of people to pack it out. Kind of a lot of times the warm up kind of to the Nebraska football season. So this kind of plays along further with that idea. And I'm excited to see what they do in the future with those events too.
And that's why I was so excited when I first saw this. Not because of the Bananas. I can take them or leave them. Really, I just kind of forget about them. You do your thing, whatever. I don't care enough, so I'm just not going to think about you.
Are y'all Banana fans?
I just told you, my opinion. But
I'm not.
it's whatever.
This is
take them or leave them. But
it's like Disney on Ice. You know, it's like, you know, for baseball.
Ellie's ears just perked up.
You know, now it's like
Disney on Ice.
This is like
that,
the Happy Gilmore movie with the golf. I mean, who wants to see a bunch of guys sing duets, dance? Really? I mean, this is like Disney on Ice for me, or like Saved by the Bell for baseball. You know,
see, I don't even care what the Bananas do. why is the timing the way it is?
Yeah.
Like, I
Well,
just don't
for
want to
the-
have to think about you. I mean, I know that's their entire brand, is being the disruptor, is being, in the news, finding something flashy to do. And maybe that's part of their shtick, right? Yeah, we want to do this to try to cut into that audience, to try to steal the attention, because that's who we've always been if you're the Bananas. But then if you're Nebraska and you're Troy Dannon, you have to understand whose toes you're stepping on. You have to understand that
Only
it's
the
a College
rich.
World Series.
You only stepping
And
on
it's
some
not
rich
like you can
toes.
just get tickets. You still have to enter the lottery. Like, it's the Masters. You can't just walk up and buy tickets. Will they sell 80,000? I highly doubt it. I really do. I don't think
Yeah.
this is the idea Nebraska thinks it is right now.
Now, maybe one part of it is maybe they're hoping to kind of combine that. Is obviously with the College World Series, there's always shots that can be taken throughout this games. Baseball games, there's a lot of shots that you go, fan crowd and all that sort of stuff. If you can reference back, hey, here's a stadium full of people watching wacky baseball in the same state that we've got the College World Series in, so I think they could maybe try to get a little bit of the rub off of that. But to me, I mean, I agree with you. And of course, the Bananas factor into this too. They've got their own schedule. They've got all these big stadiums they're going into. But it does, the timing of it has disrupted some folks around here. And obviously, it's just if you're Will Pole, the Nebraska baseball team, is going, hey, what the heck, man? Like,
So
what is our ceiling?
So
this year?
there's no affiliation with anybody for the Bananas.
Kyle Perry used to play for
No,
Nebraska.
no. What I'm saying, when it comes to them playing, I mean, what they're not a football. I mean, they're not a league or anything in baseball.
They play in like traveling
So
league.
this is like the Harlem Grove Toronto of baseball.
But it's not fixed to the fact that they will win every game. It is still competitive, but they still they just kind of do some silly stuff throughout it. And I personally don't get it. On that side, it's not for me, but it sells out stadiums.
I watched them play one day. It looked like a bunch of guys that want to be in sync singing and bobbing and weaving, just like a bunch of Justin Timberlakes out there just trying to play baseball. I mean, it's weird to me, but if it sells, it sells. I mean, I wonder how much these guys make on this team right here.
I don't enough for a summer job, I assume, make it worth their while. And for these people that are on the text line, I'm just going to address you all at once. At least for I am not mad at the Bananas for who they are or what they do. I'm not even mad that they're in Lincoln. Cool, great, fantastic opportunity. I love that Nebraska is using the football stadium for stuff that's not football, out of season, right? I've been trying to push that bandwagon for a long time now. I'm not mad at all about what they do. It's when they're doing it. I'm pissed at Nebraska for the timing. I really am. I just do not understand Nebraska's rationale to have this on College World Series opening weekend. If you do it the weekend before, if you do it the weekend after, is that so hard? I just don't think the Bananas are going to be so worth it for Nebraska. I'm not saying it's not going to be worth it for you fans or for your kids or for your enjoyment. I'm saying for Nebraska because presumptively, Nebraska is doing this for its own financial benefit in some way, shape, or form. I don't think that having the Bananas in town on College World Series opening weekend is the right move. I don't think it's going to work out the way Nebraska wants it to, which is why I'm skeptical.
It might. I think so. I mean, you got to think about the poor people who can't afford the College World Series tickets, Bob. I mean, some people can't afford them, so you get them for the lower class people, and you do the drawings or however they're going to sell them. You probably can get 50, 60,000 in Memorial Stadium for that baseball. Probably even more than that.
Well, it's certainly a family event, so
it's different.
Might be different
family
audiences,
events, and they're both going to be in the same price. You can't even say the Bananas are cheaper. By the time you get in the lottery, you pay for the tickets, you pay for parking. It's going to be the same as the trip to Omaha. And again, I don't want this to be one baseball is better than the other. I'm not so pro CWS purity versus Harlem Globetrotters, whatever. But where are you going to get 80,000 people for this from? I mean, you're not going to pull regionally. I doubt it, because they're going to Kansas City, because they're going to other places in Kansas and Iowa. I think they're up in Minnesota at one point. They'll be in Colorado, I think. You're not going to be the regional pull. I think this is going to be pretty Nebraska-centric.
I don't know, Austin. You sound like a little hater. I mean, how many times they call you that on the radio?
Not often enough, I guess.
Oh, okay. I thought you probably seen about 10 of them on the text line right now.
For what it's worth, he's not alone. There are more than just Austin that are a little upset or concerned about the timing of the Bananas coming. But I think most people are pretty happy, at least, that there will be an opportunity to see the Bananas. It just might be stepping on some toes and maybe kind of overshadowing or whatever phrase you want to put
It's
it with.
just like tomorrow's football game. Bob, the timing is wrong.
Yeah.
You got Indiana and Oregon at 2:30,
Right.
Nebraska and Maryland at 2:30. You got some other good games at 2:30.
Oh man, last week's time slot too was. I mean, there's a lot of good games on during Nebraska. It's hard to with with the super conferences and all the matchups you get. It's hard to avoid it these days, which is a good thing.
I'm 99% sure that I will be watching Iowa. Indiana versus Oregon.
I'm 99% sure you will too, because we've been talking about it all week. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. We got more to talk about. We'll wrap things up here on 1-on-1 on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hungry for something real? Come to HF Crave, Lincoln's favorite spot for burgers that are anything but basic. Locally sourced Nebraska beef, hand-cut fries, and bold flavors that'll make your taste buds cheer. Whether you're craving the classics or ready to try something wild, they've got the burger that gets you. HF Crave. Fresh, local, craveable. Find them at 48th and Holdridge or order online at hfcrave.com.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks, and grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria tacos and many other options. Don't forget their great desserts like tres leches, flan, and cheesecake. Get to Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Nebraska Lottery.
Do you have a new lotto game called Nebraska Pick 4?
Yes, sir. It costs just $1 to play. There's a $6,000 top prize with drawings every day, and you can choose from 6 different bet types.
Kind of like Nebraska Pick 3 with a bigger jackpot and more bet options?
Yes, sir. Any other questions I can answer?
Yeah, I misplaced my phone. Do you know where it is?
You're using it.
Ah, so I am. You lottery people know everything.
Straight bet top prize odds 1 in 10,000.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Are you tired of your usual barbershop experience? Stop into Scissors and Scotch today. I know what you're thinking. Drink during a haircut? Don't worry. First comes the precision cut from one of their experienced barbers, followed by your complimentary cocktail in their upscale lounge. Scissors and Scotch blends your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. And now you can earn $10 off by simply mentioning the ticket. And if you're an existing member, still mention the ticket for an exclusive offer. Offer valid at Lincoln location only. Scissors and Scotch, located just south of 30th and Yankee Hill, and online at lincoln.scissorscotch.com.
This is Rick Heyman with Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Sartor Heyman is celebrating 120 years, and you could win big. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for your chance to win a $120 gift certificate every week. That's right, we're giving away $120 every week as a thank you for being part of our story. Don't miss your chance to treat yourself. Follow Sartor Heyman Jewelers today. Celebrating 120 years. Sartor Heyman, when only the best will do.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, We figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
This is Rick Heyman with Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Sartor Heyman is celebrating 120 years, and you could win big. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for your chance to win a $120 gift certificate every week. That's right, we're giving away $120 every week as a thank you for being part of our story. Don't miss your chance to treat yourself. Follow Sartor Heyman Jewelers today. Celebrating 120 years. Sartor Heyman, when only the best will do.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's hard to choose a favorite at Hog Wild, but I'd have to say it's their award-winning ribs. Hog Wild buys their meat from those who share their high-quality standards, then hand rubs each slab with their famous seasoning blend and slow smokes them over hickory each and every day for flavor and tenderness you're gonna keep coming back for. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Join LES at 6 p.m. Thursday, October 9th at the LES Operations Center to learn about the utilities' proposed 2026 budget and electric rates and share your input at the annual public meeting. Learn more at les.com.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP, brought to you by Canopy Street Market on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, welcome back to One-on-One here on 93.7 The Ticket as we wrap things up. Get you prepared for the Adam Character Show coming up next here with the Big Back Guy. But I'm in studio, I'm Jake Bachman, alongside Terrell Farley as we wind down this show once again. Terrell, we got plenty to talk about on Bachman the Blackshirt. I'm interested in your predictions. We talked about it a little bit off the air here. Arizona State likely to start former quarterback, Nebraska quarterback, Jeff Sims now. Sam Levitt is dinged up, and so he's going to have to sit out. Arizona State on the road at Utah. Utah already favored by 5.5 before this news came out. Maybe kind of factoring in the idea that he might not play. But Jeff Sims, and you said, and I don't want to give away your prediction earlier, you might go ahead and pick the Sun Devils. You might support former Husker Jeff Sims. Do you not remember sitting through those games?
He's just one person, Bach. He's not.
He's the quarterback.
That's okay, Bach. I think he's got better over the years. It's been 3 years. Get a kid a break. He could have got a quarterback coach to work with. He's at a great institution over in Arizona State, a team that made it to the college football playoffs. I think he's in great position to shock the world when we see him play tomorrow or tonight. Is it tonight?
It's tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna watch that game just because you said it now. Jeff Sims.
I'm intrigued. Don't get me wrong. But remember, they did a lot of the talk this offseason was about the Cincinnati game was going into that was like, yeah, they lost 5 games, but they did beat Arizona State. It was a playoff team last year. That was Jeff Sims, Arizona State. He stepped in for a game last year against Cincinnati and lost it. So we'll see what happens. Utah's been a pretty good squad. Arizona State fighting to get back into that top 25. Now at number 21 will be one of the intriguing games. I'm just expecting a turnover or two.
Go Jeff Sims.
I'm expecting a turnover or two is all I can say.
Go Jeff Sims. Go Jeff Sims.
And I will be cheering for him. Once
Yeah.
a Husker, always a Husker. I will be cheering for him. Don't get me wrong.
We're not gonna do that part.
Oh,
right
you
there,
don't like
Bob.
that part of it?
Nah, he was on borrowed time. Yeah.
Remember the Jeff Sims meal you could get? I mean,
Yeah.
he was a big deal around here at one time.
Yeah. I bet you Amigos still kicking themselves in the butt for that.
They probably are. I'm not sure if there's any meals you can get down there in around Phoenix area to get a Jeff Sims meal. But we'll see. Maybe he'll be a star after this week for the Sun Devils.
Go Jeff Sims.
That's right.
Go Jeff Sims.
Also, if you look at some of Purdy's stats this year,
Yeah, they
Heinrich
know better.
Harburg's a tight end. I mean, their quarterback room in year one under Matt Rule is not shaping out the best.
Yeah.
Which we knew. We saw that when we watched him play. But in any case, that'll wrap it up for One-on-One. Adam Carricker coming up next. If you love to hear Terrell Farley, you don't have to wait too long. He'll be on Unboxing the Black Shirt at 1. We'll talk to you here around the corner on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for a